Hello and welcome to day 3 of aStoryaDay for 26 days. So it is Monday, May the 4th today. So here we are. Here's this evening's story. There's a mountain behind a village in Taiwan. And once upon a time, an elderly man wheeled a hand cart into that village marketplace. And this cart was piled high with delicious smelling, hot, steaming dumplings. He parked his cart and he started to call out what he had on his cart, what he had for sale. He called out, "Delicious dumplings, come and get them, hot and fresh. 1 for 10 cents, 2 for 20 cents, 3 for free. Well, the villagers could hardly believe their ears. They thought he must be tricking them. They gathered around him, great numbers of them, and one big strong man stepped forward. You know the kind, there's always one that's got to be the alpha male. And he says to the crowd, "Don't you worry, I'll check this out. I'll test him. So, old man," he said, 1 for 10 cents, 2 for 20 cents, but if I eat 3, I don't have to pay you a single cent. "That's right," said the old man. "Well then," said the big strong villager, and reached out a great big meaty paw, and he grabbed a dumpling and he started to eat. Oh, and it was so tasty, it was so good. He crammed it in, he couldn't cram it in fast enough, and reached out for the second one and smashed that into his face and ate it down and swallowed it. And he looked at the old man again, a challenge in his eye. "So, just to check, just to be clear, if I eat one more, I don't pay you a cent." The old man nodded. "That's right." And so the man took a third dumpling, even though he didn't need it, even though he was already really, really, really full. And so he squashed this last one in. He wasn't going to be beaten. He wasn't going to pay for this. And he crammed it in and he chewed it and chewed it and chewed it down. And then he flung his hands up into the air and said, "There, 3 for free." And the old man nodded and said yes. And so all the other villagers, they came round, they reached out their hands, they took 3 dumplings, and even though they got fuller and fuller with every bite, they just kept on eating. Well, soon the old man had no dumplings left. So he said, "Well, I didn't really imagine you were all going to be that hungry, but there we are, they've all gone. Will you come back tomorrow?" cried out the people that actually hadn't been able to get any dumplings that day. "Yes," he said, "in the morning, same time, I'll be here." And so he was. On the second day he came back. 1 for 10 cents, 2 for 20 cents, 3 for free. And they came again, and they took those dumplings and they squashed them into their faces and they ate them all. Not a single dumpling left. The third day he came back again. And the same thing happened, of course. He called it out, the people came, they started to eat, and suddenly there was a small voice from the back of the crowd. A young woman called out, "Excuse me, I should like to pay for 1 dumpling." And she came forward towards the old man, holding a 10-cent coin. Oh, the villagers laughed. They called her foolish, they called her all sorts of silly names. But she held her ground and she said, "I don't think it's fair that this old man earns nothing. And I should like a dumpling. And I don't have enough money for 2. So here is the money for 1. And the villagers looked on astonished as she handed over her coin. And the old man looked at her and he said, Oh, dear young one, I have been waiting so long for someone like you." And somehow in front of the eyes of all the villagers, this stooped, bowed old man changed, and somehow he was taller and younger and grander, and his voice resonated as he spoke, and he said, "I am the god of your mountain. And as he said that, they looked up at the mountain and they saw that a whole chunk of the mountain was missing. And they started to talk amongst themselves. Well, where had it gone? Why was this so? What had been happening? How could they not have seen that part of their mountain had just disappeared? And the old man, not so old, the god, he said to the young woman, "Come with me. We will go to another place. We will start a new way of living where this greed is not surrounding us, where people behave with greater respect to other people and to the world around them." And just like that, the man, the god, and the girl disappeared. And the villagers trailed back to their huts, glancing up at the mountain, wondering what it was that had been going on, what had just happened. And you know what? They never saw the god, the old man, again. And that mountain, while still there, still has this piece missing from it. And because it has that piece missing, that village receives all the wind, all the rain, the trees slide down the mountain, and the people still live there. They still tell that story, and they still wonder. So my friends, that's today's story. I'll see you tomorrow for another one. Hope you're all having a good week. Bye now.